Yeah. Welcome, welcome to the artwork of CP. We're doing this a little bit different because I'm on my phone trying to rest my knee. And as you guys know, I don't want to put a laptop on my knee and so on my body. So, and of course, I forgot to charge my laptop. So, my lovely BFF is recording the podcast. And so, if she screws up, we we blame it all on her because this is actually the first time she's actually hit the record button. I am the one usually hitting the record button, but enough about my knee and enough about recording because I do get an MI in May that I requested. So enough about my knee and enough about recording. Today we're going to talk about CP and church and on both feeds actually because I'm only repeating this statement once. And as well, you guys don't know this. As you guys know, I moved to Phoenix, Arizona in 2022, March of 2022. And so I have been on a spiritual journey in Phoenix, Arizona. Believe it or not, they say Sedona, Arizona is very healing, and Arizona in general is very healing. But that's not why I moved down there. I did not move down here for the healing properties. I moved down here for the amazing housing opportunity. Well, once I got established in that amazing housing opportunity, which I'm still living in and which I'm still functioning in, I thought, okay, let's go on a spiritual journey. And now, as you guys probably know, I think I told you this, I don't remember. But I grew up in the Catholic Church. I grew up in the Catholic Church. And now, for me, the Catholic Church, and people know this because I banged my own drum, and because Danielle also bangs to her own drum. There's nothing you can do to stop us. Because I bang to my own drum, and I don't care what people think. I'm learning how to live a go with the flow lifestyle, and I don't like drama in my life necessarily. I'm learning. I'm learning that through codependency, and yes, in codependency, they do mention God, which I was perfectly fine with. I grew up in a Catholic church, and other people who are atheists and codependents don't like necessarily like God. So I have decided to go on a spiritual journey, and what is the result? What it's resulted in is I I had a roommate. I had a roommate up until August of last year. That was August of 2022. That I come to find out, not via her, that she was atheist. And by the way, I'm like, okay, we live in a secular community, but I'm going to do my own thing. So this spiritual journey left me wanting a church home. Well, since the Catholicism is such a square box for me, and I begged to my environment, I'm like, well, what's the next not so square box that is close to Catholicism? And I come to find out after getting myself in a very sketchy situation, and I decided that the illusion. Now, granted, I have friends that are Mormons, I have friends that go to mega churches, I have friends that are Episcopalians, I have friends that are atheists, I have friends that don't believe in churches, I have friends that celebrate church in the trees if you let them. And so I also have friends that like to go to monasteries and like to go to non-denominational masses and have beautiful masses at the Mass Chapel. Hint, hint. We'll get into that in a minute. But I have come to find out that through the study of the Bible with someone, I go every single morning. I happen to have more friends in my pipeline than you guys would ever think. And I have joined Bible studies in the past. Those are not big deal. I joined one before I left, and then it got defunct, and then I got kicked out, which I don't mind saying that. I don't mind saying that. And at the time, I was struggling, and people knew I was struggling, and my anger got the best of me. I don't mind saying that I got kicked out of the Bible study, and the leader and I are still friends. The leader and I still know each other. She checks in on me on occasion, but I needed, once I got all the chaos out of my life, and I needed to find myself. So through codependency training, I found myself in a mental health way. Once I got my mental health all organized, I decided to go on a spiritual journey. So every single morning, 7 days a week, I'm sorry, 7 days a week, I do Bible study. And I do it sometimes interfaith Bible study. It's sometimes just a straight Bible study, all depending on what I do. And I have a dear, 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 dear friend who knows I have a podcast, knows I do motivational speaking, but she will stay behind the scenes for the majority of the time that we have known each other. We met in an odd way, and she decided to go back to seminary, back to seminary of all places. And then I did not know this. And then she walks back into my life as her husband is dying, basically. And she didn't know that I had lost my mom because we had lost touch. And so basically, back then when she re-entered my life, and I started asking her not only how she left my life, which is a private story. I let her share that story. But I asked her, I said, hey, would you help me with my face formation? And then she said, of course, because she loves me and knows who I am and gets me like the back of a book and gets me like a book and more so than not. And so she said, yes, I'll help you with your face formation. I'm like, great. And then I moved to Arizona. The next thing I know, she says, "Hey, I want to come out and see you and check out where you live and make sure you're safe." She's one of those people that likes to make sure I'm safe on the occasion. And so I said, fine, come out and we'll spend a week together. And so that's how that started. But basically, my face has been very, 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 very important to me. And so face formation in the spot that they consider healing to begin with. Arizona, I'm a totally different person than you guys remember in Aspen. I was under a heck of a lot of stress, and because of losing my dad and losing my mom and then having all this stress from my family, I have decided not to speak to my family. And because that's a long story, I've cut myself off from my family, and not because of the purposes of the trust fund. I'm because they consider me as a child and I'm a grown adult. So through my ways of, and they know why I've cut them off, and they know why I've cut them off. And through my ways of thinking, I thought, hey, I don't need all this stress in my life, and I don't need the way I live is the way I live. I don't get involved in their personal lives. I try not to get involved in anyone's personal lives. If Danielle wants to share something big with me, she wants to share something big with me. And so, even though she's my BFF and pretty much tells me everything. So, needless to say, I landed up after trying the Lutheran Church, after trying a church that's meant for gays. They call themselves MCC. Well, MCC out here fell apart, and then MCC fell apart, and I Googled Lutheran, Episcopalian, sorry, MCC was hosted in a Lutheran church. So I Googled Episcopalian churches. I Googled maps, Episcopalian churches, found one I liked, and this Sunday being the 23rd, I am saying bye-bye to the Catholic religion. I said bye-bye to the Catholic religion in 2010, and I am still doing Bible study with a friend of mine who is an Catholic, inclusive Catholic priest, sorry. And then we as an inclusive Celts believe that God made the earth and we're more spiritual than you think we are. And so I'm using both churches, one to get the spiritual side, one just to have a home base, as I will still be doing Bible studies with friends, and I still will be doing Bible studies with my own bishop. My own bishop is completely supportive of this. And yeah, I am super excited to be a deep thinker. As you know, I'm a lifelong learner. As you know, I started this podcast. And so I am super excited to be a deep thinker and get out of that square, painful box and get out of that square, painful box. Now, for those of you who are listening, who say, oh, the Catholics are not square and painful. Oh, yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are. Because I had an incident when I was a young child, and I'll never forget it. I was lucky enough to have two baptisms and two first communions, not two confirmation. I only had one. So being baptized in the Bahamas made it a little bit of a shit show when I got back to my confirmation. And also being given the first communion in the St. Paul's Catholic Church in Nassau, Bahamas, mind you, hosted by my grandma, and grandma, who happened to be my namesake, hosted a private first communion for me. So by the time I got back to Aspen, and I asked my mom, I said, well, can I go up and take communion? Because I got communion already in our first communion. She goes, absolutely not. You sit down and you wait until the next couple of weeks until you do it with your class. And I'm like, absolutely not. Okay, mom, I'll do what you say because you're my mommy, but absolutely not. I thought, and I wish, God love her, I wish my mom and my family let me go on my own spiritual journey. I have actually, I have actually been blessed enough to have a Mormon friend of all things, and she was with me during 2019, and when my dad died, and when my case went down of emotional and physical abuse, and she happened to invite me to Florida, and because I kept complaining, I need the beach, I need the beach, I need the beach, and finally said, when would you knock it off? Would you knock it off? I'm going to see my family, and I'm inviting you. And would you like to come? And it took me a couple of seconds to say yes, because I figured that my stepmom would freak out, which she did. She freaked out that that I was traveling with aid, and she would freak out again if she knew I was traveling with aid that was recommended, which I'm trying to do this summer. This aid is recommended towards me, a friend of a friend, and so I'll travel with anyone as long as I can travel. But I went into the Mormon church as a guest, believe it or not, and if you ever get to go in as a guest to a Mormon church, that is just fascinating beyond belief. And when my stepmom found out that I did not tell my stepmom, I knew this. This was planned. This was planned. I knew this going in. I knew this going on the trip. And when I got back, the first words out of my mom's mouth, not how did you enjoy the trip, not how did you like the family members that you were staying with, not any of that. She goes, are you Mormon now? And I'm like, excuse me, I am not we're not playing that game. We're not playing the game. So yes, long story short, are you mama now? That just sent me over the edge. And the reason why I like other religions is because people are people are people. And I don't care if they say I'm Buddhist or I'm Baptist or I'm Catholic or I'm Episcopalian or I'm Mormon. Now the Mormons get a bad rap. We're trying to break that. I'm trying to break that stigma, and a lot of other people are trying to break that stigma as well online. So basically, people are people are people, and I will not set foot in the Catholic Church unless I'm invited to somewhere that involves Catholic Church, or I'm invited to baptism that involves Catholic Church. I personally will not step foot in the Catholic Church because of what they did and didn't admit it publicly. My priest that I was under, not the priest that I'm under now, not the Episcopalians. At least I haven't done my research on the Episcopalians, but you guys remember all those priests molesting kids left, right, and center. The young men primarily, and the young women primarily. Well, guess what? My priest that I was under got caught and got sentenced to jail. And I found out, and God knows he gave me the heebie jeebies. God knows Michael O'Brien gave me the heebie jeebies. And I found out that, and also when he said, I don't think in his brain correct that my mom had passed away. When I said my mom had passed away, he goes, how nice. And so I'm like, I'm out of there. You give me the heebie jeebies anyway, because I'm disabled and I'm out of there. Now, I will not set foot inside the Catholic Church ever again unless it's something for full intention of I'm going to support someone, I'm going to support a friend of mine, I'm going to support their child, I'm going to support a friend of mine who's died, I'm going to support another friend of mine. I will not set foot in the Catholic Church for Mass. The Episcopalian Church is more, it's similar to a Catholic Mass. So that's why, and they actually told me this the first day I was up there. They go, how were you raised? I said Catholic. They go, great. We have a lot of recovering Catholics up here because Catholic, the Episcopalians are very similar to the Catholic Church. That's why you like it. And so I am super excited. Now, my confirmation will be online. Yes, you will see me with my knee brace. You may see the back of me more than you will see the front of me, because the way I've talked to them this morning. I've actually talked to the Episcopalian Church who's doing it, and they want to do special things not because of my disability, but not because of my knee. It's just because I'm in a wheelchair that they want to do special things. But you can watch it online, and I will give Danielle the website. I will also give Danielle so she can put it on my website the link to the YouTube, and if you look up Saint Barnabas on the Desert People, that is where I'm getting confirmed. And I was going to get received, but because I have such bad history with the Catholic Church and the inclusive Celtic Church, I have a better history with. But because I have a bad history with Catholic, Roman Catholic Church, I decided to scratch the Roman Catholic Church, have myself confirmed in the Episcopalian Church. So that is that. And Danielle, do you want to say anything about church and CP? I said,
Yeah.
you got yourself unmuted. Good, good, go.
So nothing, not so, so, yeah, so, not so, boo, we, but, no, nine, four, two, we love to listen to the music.
Music. I knew you guys were going to say that.
Yeah.
Music in churches. If you guys are not religious at all, just go and listen to the music. Just go
Yeah.
and listen to the music because go ahead.
Sometimes we see the so much and I think the
Well, yeah. And there's the Aspen Chapel. Used to be those of you who are familiar with Aspen used to be called the Prince of Peace. And as you can see on my TikTok, believe it or not, because I posted it on my TikTok, every summer the monks, the Tibetan monks come up there and do the mandala. And I had the privilege when I went back home last July, and last Aspen will not be happening again this summer. No, there's stuff that went, and Danielle's very, very sad about that. And there's stuff that went on behind the scenes that I will get into when I feel like it. But Aspen will not be happening again this summer. Danielle is sad because she misses the BFF, but she understands. She has to make it down here one of these days. She has to make it down here one of these days. I know that. And so she has to make it to me one of these days. But I had the privilege of seeing the monks do the mandalas at a mandala, not the mandala, at the Aspen Chapel. So if you are in the Aspen area and want to go see a very, 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 very cool process, or just go look at my TikTok, just search Twin Towers and you'll see it because I posted it on my TikTok. And that is a very cool process. So if you're trying to get into religion, I would say start out with non-denominational and then see where it takes you. I would, unless you want to become Episcopalian, or unless you want to do something of that sense, start out with non-denominational. I know people that consider the outdoors their church too. So start with non-denominational. But you'll be surprised how many disabled people show up in churches, and you'll be surprised how in these bigger cities, yes, dialize slash paratransit will take me to church. No, I don't take my aides to church. That's not happening in my book. And so, no, I don't take my aides to church. And so I'm gonna let you guys go. Think about that. Think about that mouthful of church and CP. And I'm gonna let Danielle lead us out and we and upload the episode. Hopefully it can for the recording. Oh, now it's going to start all over again. But she was looking for the recording, you guys, because she accidentally, I think CP got in the way and hit the big button. So I'm glad Danielle lead us out. And yeah,
yeah, you, bro, bro, yeah,
thank you for following us, you guys. And if you didn't catch it in the first recording, she said it in the second recording, but she means thank you for following us, you guys. And with the cute Bonnie said, I'm going to let the cute Bonnie go. And bye. We love you, and we'll talk to you next week. And we're going to come up with next week's subjects, and I may have to be on my phone because of my knee. And no, I don't have any updates for you guys about my knee. I'm still waiting on the process of filing that claim, and yeah, it's annoying. But yeah, I don't have any updates. I will give you updates as soon as I have them, but I don't have any updates. And so I'm going to let you guys go, and I'm going to see what's for lunch, and then I'm going to take myself outside because it's a beautiful day, and I'm going to let you guys go. And thank you for following us, and we will catch you guys next week. Bye, you guys.
bye.